Alright, welcome back.
Report to the engineering wing. William Carter to the engineering
This will be our first extended tour of the entire base. Finally, the whole thing is opened up to us.
And I'm going to be calling it the X-Base for a lot of this video, probably, because that was what we always called it.
You got the little talkie thing here, but Chulsky just says the same stuff as last time. So
yeah,
and keep up the good work.
most of the people in the base that have conversation
will.
trees will say the same thing to you until you've done some kind of side mission in the base involving them.
Oh, so yeah, said we had to go to the engineering wing. Here's our map. So we're going to the yellow E.
Accurate?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
I'm looking at it. I think it's a little weird.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it showed this little L-shaped bend in the hallway.
Yeah, well, a lot of these L-shaped bends in the hallway are, of course, to hide streaming, because there's so much shit in this base, and I don't mean shit in a pejorative sense, because a lot of it's really cool. There's so much stuff in the base that we had to split it up into a lot of different streaming zones. And it was hell to get this working on the PS3. And the 360, but to a lesser extent.
Carter, join me.
Join me.
Ooh! This is a really,
like it when my
really
agents go off the
good
rails, Carter.
example
Never
of something,
ignore
I
my
think.
orders
Hold on,
again.
I have to wait to see what this conversation is
You're
about.
lucky things turned out as well as they did with
Also,
Dr.
folks
Weir's
are really
rescue.
pissed with us.
But look at this time. I understand the situation is getting to you.
Weaver tell you that? Or you just figured it out on your own?
This
I
is our
need to
first
know I can
example of
trust
the
you.
relationship between Falk and Carter,
took a
which
big
could be
risk
mildly
including you in
characterized
this
as
operation.
adversarial.
And I'm about to take another.
Falk is one of the characters where you don't really have a huge choice in how Carter behaves towards him. You can be a dick or you can be a
What are
bigger
you
dick,
talking about?
but
Taking the fight to the enemy.
Falk
Not
is
just surviving this.
Falk is a good character.
winning it.
I like
I like
him.
Falk a lot.
Exactly are we
He
gonna
also,
do
it doesn't
that?
hurt that he has an
with
amazing
this.
voice actor.
Oh yeah.
And what's that? Is it a
Espresso machine?
No, oh, it's a crane. Oh. Whew, I was worried for a second. Lots of swoosh coming out of it.
I don't think Carter knows it's a ship. So.
A prototype
Carter
aircraft
has
built
no
with everything
idea
we've
what
been
the
able
hell
to
this
learn
is.
from their
He's never heard of a
technology.
flying saucer before.
Plus a few tricks of our own.
You really think it'll make a difference?
It might, as long as we know where to strike. That's where
Well,
you
given
come.
the state that
means
it's
fighting
currently
back,
in, I mean, it could
I'll
be
do
like just a
whatever it takes.
ring-shaped
Good.
generator or something.
Yes, that is a
He's
good point.
interrogating
Aside
the
from the fact that it is, well, you know, in a hangar. You don't really build a generator in a hangar, right?
What do you know about the infiltrator?
This is
We've
XCOM.
been running a
Oh,
barrage
sorry.
of tests
This is
on
not
it.
XCOM.
Preliminary
This is the Bureau.
interrogation, medical checks. The boys in the lab even
We
took a
had
look
to
at the devices
scrub
implanted
every
in it.
real
Find
reference
anything
to
useful?
We
XCOM
don't
other
even
than
know
in
his
passing
name.
from this
Or if his kind even
dialogue.
have names.
And it
But we
was
have reason to believe.
not just this
he'll be
dialogue, but
more
all the dialogue in the
responsive
game, and it was
What happened?
super
Locked in
aggravating and
solitary
silly.
for a couple weeks.
You might be closer than you think. In a
And
recent
they,
examination, our
Big
surgeons
Publishing
removed
sprung
this
that
from
on
his
us
head.
like
We think it's some kind of
a
communication
couple
device.
months before
He was
ship or
plugged.
something
We're not
ridiculous.
sure. Weir thinks it was his connection to Mosaic.
Mosaic.
Communication network.
Wait, how do you
According
know
to
that,
Dr.
Carter?
Weir, yes.
Really talk
it
to
is,
anybody.
Ever since we removed this thing, the infiltrator's been less aggressive, more morose.
Interesting.
Morose. He's a sad alien.
How do we know we can take them out?
Morose
in
is a
one
nice
strike?
word.
Weir's been studying
It is a
their
good word, but we
transmissions,
basically
and he
pulled out
believes
his
they're coming from a
alien
single
computer
source.
antidepressants.
That's
Now
this
he's
mosaic
really,
thing they
really
talk
sad.
Yes. The doctor says
Pulled
his
it clean out of
measurements
his
prove
skull.
that it's some sort of central command, possibly even a single being.
A single being.
And if our tests are correct,
Hive-mind.
it is indeed more than just some sort of radio network.
I love how they
so?
characterize it just
After
as a radio
studying
network.
Radio
these
network.
implants,
They don't have an
the
analog
radio
to compare it
connects
to.
directly
Well,
the
exactly.
mind
It's a
of
great
the
little
outsiders.
era-appropriate
So if
detail.
we take out
Yeah.
Mosaic's core, we shut down every outsider on this planet.
That's the idea.
I like Carter's
So,
little,
we
like,
need
I
to
like the
know
little, the hand business Carter does when he talks. I don't remember.
Yeah,
who's
he's got
responsible
like
for that, but
he's
it's
got
good.
like 4 or
Flying
5
saucer.
hand animations,
Built
and they're used
Actually,
for
the
everything,
Air
but
Force
they
was
never
already
seem
they
out
work.
of place.
prototype like
They work.
this. Our German
German
associate just made a few
associate.
modifications,
So,
incling everything we could steal.
our
from
German
the outsiders.
associate,
How
who
does
we
it
will meet
handle?
fairly soon, I think.
It'll be faster
We've met
and
him
more
before.
maneuverable than anything in the skies.
We
To
have.
get through those Venn
Yeah, we
gates
met him in the
of theirs,
prologue. He
that's
gave
what
us
Oh, that's
the,
right. Sorry,
yeah.
yes, I wasn't with you for the first videos. Yes, we met him. Dr. Heinrich
Let's see what I can get out of the
Dresner,
infiltrator.
Good.
who
We've
was
got a good
voiced
containment
by
center in
our
the lab,
tech
built
lead, I
especially for
believe,
him.
who
Got his
was
own
a real
luxury
German from
suite,
Germany,
That
who
ought to solve it.
ironically sounded
Don't
much,
count
much
it.
less German
How
than
gentle
fake
do I
German
need to
accent.
be?
Just be careful.
which is usually the case, but he not the final VO was not him. He did the scratch VO for him, but I believe that some of these base announcements, at least one of these base announcements, is me that come over the PA at one point. If I hear it, I'll let you know. But I'm not sure.
5 times faster. They could fly through a vacuum. It's quite a difference.
That scientist sounds like he doesn't believe a word that other dude just said.
There's a lot of sarcasm in here.
No aliens.
Yeah, the writers wanted to turn up the dark humor. Oh, hey, that blueprint they're looking at on the table. That blueprint is for a weapon that was from the 2010 version of the game that was cut. It was called the Blobotov. It was a glass canister with a blob inside and electrical current. You flipped the switch, an electrical current ran through the blob, set the blob on fire, and then it turned into a napalm grenade.
Sounds kind of cool.
It was super cool. The only problem was it blew the performance to hell because fire is super expensive. We couldn't come up with a good way to get the fire through the wall.
Where else could they go?
Because if you threw it on the ground, we didn't have a good way to clip the fire effect to only the part of the wall that the grenade landed on, because that was really expensive. Ah, yes! And here we have the airlock! The blatant streaming section for the lab. You have no idea how many bugs resulted from that goddamn airlock. That was an extremely, extremely messy airlock.
And here's the water filtration facility, so all the urinals drain into there.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's the Mountain Dew tank. That's actually what secretly powers the X-Base.
The XCOM staff is severely dehydrated, hence the color.
We have the Doritos storage just behind the door we just looked at.
Infiltrators. Come while you perform tests on men.
Yes, these two.
These tests serve to protect
the relationship between Dresner and Weir is
volunteers.
fun. I enjoy it a lot.
But we're still not certain of what.
Yeah, I do like it. You got kind of the German scientist who's way too excited about shit, and you got the more humanitarian on the other end.
Well, I would just like to ask you a quick question. What is it that has allowed America to maintain technical superiority in the world for so long?
Probably stealing everyone else's scientists.
Well, yes, it's it's actually the advantage of a great American scientists such as Dr. Werner von Braun and Dr. Heinrich Klesner, who are very much definitely American scientists and not from a different country.
Those were backpacks there, right?
Yes, those are backpacks. That's supposed to be the backpack manufactory. Say that 3 times fast.
You can tell that the lab area was where initially you guys were intending to have the research and development element of the game, which got totally cut.
That area that you came in from the airlock, I'll point it out when we go back by it again, used to have a slideshow screen just like the one where you select your mission, where you would have selected research data. We had this full research implemented in this area, and it was really cool. And
the boys in the lab
now
just wanted to make sure you knew
this is
all
another
your
bug, right? The green laser turret.
I know it'll come in handy.
This is a bug. That should be red, not green.
I do
Also,
like
it should
the
have
little
sound.
things. I never would have thought to lift
As
the
you may have
turret.
guessed from the glow, this is where we store
Yes,
element
lifting the
115,
turret was actually
or
one of the
Illyrium.
big,
Understanding
one
it
of the
is
big
vital to our
prototype
ability to
things that we
adapt
had
and
for,
adopt
okay, so we
outside
want
of
power
technology.
combinations. We want to be able to
So
use
far,
powers
results
together.
have been mixed.
We want to be able to, do a thing to an enemy or a friendly, and then use another power on him and have them combine. The idea, I believe, we originally got the idea from, I think it was, what is it, somebody mentioned the biotic explosion in Mass Effect, where you combine, warp and reeve or something. It's 2 biotic powers on the same target, and they go bang and make a big explosion or something. We were like, okay, that's a cool idea, but we want to do something more interesting than that. We want to do something where you can, lift an enemy and then, push it or something. Although that was quickly dropped because it was unfeasible, because it would be very easy to knock an enemy outside the boundaries of a level if you did that.
Well,
But-
just wait till the next video.
There were, however, some interesting interactions that cropped up that were unintended. Some of which are very
We'll
fun.
say no more till we see.
Yeah. But turret and then lift the turret was another one,
The foggiest. I can
which,
say it
with
was
some of the
horrifying
more
to witness
advanced
by
turrets,
students,
is
one by one,
extremely effective.
falling victim to the condition.
How does it operate? Why does it only take some people?
A mystery as yet, but one I aim to get to the
Dr.
bottom
Alan
of.
Weir is
I did
actually
notice
named
trends,
after
more
our art
students than
director.
professors, more
He was
whites
named
than
after our art
blacks.
director, Jeff Weir.
Nothing I can yet identify as the source.
If I can remember people who characters are named after,
Your
I will be
sister
sure.
mentioned something
We had a
called
cat named
mosaic.
Carter in the office
Said you
for a
were the
while
key to
during
it.
production,
Seemed to have
actually.
something to do with the measurements you were taking.
Everyone
Black
called him
Cat?
Carter
Any
Cat.
idea what he
He
meant
was
by
not.
that?
He
I
was
don't know much
a
about it at all.
scrawny
Other than
little,
controls the Venn gates connecting our
orange
worlds.
tabby.
And it also
actually.
seems to exert some degree of influence.
He was
over
really
the
pissy,
denizens
too,
of that
just
world.
like Carter.
As to why Lawrence regarded me as the key to it remains a mystery.
What is it? Is it a thing or a person?
So,
What is it?
regarding
I wish I
Carter's
knew, Agent.
manner
It
of
could be any
dress,
number of things. Natural force.
This-
Yeah, why did it
disorder.
change?
One thing
well,
is certain,
the way Carter
however,
was originally
it does seem to be
concepted
accessible via physical
was
technology.
this, where how he's dressed now, minus the backpack, of course, because the backpack
Did
was
you
just
know
always
that your
going to be a
system was
supplementary
one of
thing.
them?
Yes, well, believe it or not,
He was
I'm as
originally
shocked
always
as you.
concepted as being
Also,
dressed
I dare
in
say.
the turtleneck
He
sweater
was so dedicated,
with
so
the
curious.
slacks
That's no excuse.
as a
Come on,
direct
such a
reference to
fool.
Steve
You're
McQueen
lying.
in Bullet.
I'm supposed to believe you work side by side
And
with an enemy
the
operative
fact
who
that he
never had
represents
any
Sterling
idea.
Archer is actually completely
call you a
coincidental. I don't think anybody on the
Well,
production team
I,
was
Archer
watching
kind of
Archer.
appropriated that
By
from
someone I
Yeah, I
found
think
to
Archer
keep
got
it
quite
as
deeply
well.
also.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but that's
I don't
the
expect
more
you to
relevant
fathom the
reference at the
intricacies
moment.
of
the
human
vest
emotion, but I don't
and
care for your
hat
insinuations.
came
I
from
am
the
as
sort
much
of,
a patriot as any enlisted man.
Mad
You didn't
Men
hire me
bent
for my
that
sensitivity,
production
Doc.
developed towards
Sorry
the
if
end.
my heart doesn't go out
As
for a
Mad Men
traitorous
gained
alien.
cultural popularity,
question
people
is,
went,
traitors
well,
to whom?
we are
That's
sort of
always
that
with
era. It
invaluable
makes
information.
sense to try and capitalize on it.
I wish there was the
Before I
option to
go,
choose between the
tell
two.
me,
We
why
wanted,
are you so
we really
valuable?
wanted
Frank
customizable
seems to
clothing
think we
and
can't
outfits
win
for
this thing
agents,
without
but
you.
there was
I
just
suppose he
absolutely
regards
no
the work
time
I've
to
been
do
doing with
anything
Harper
like
as
Right,
that.
essential.
right.
I've been
I guess we
tracking
should be
audio
grateful that we got the
signals
colors we
gathered by
did.
telemetry. I
The
shot my findings
colors
around
were
the
something everybody
scientific
pushed
community
for
months.
really,
Anything
really
concrete?
hard.
Only
who
subtle
was working on
results,
the
but
agents.
Myron, Director
I
Falk, recognized
and a
their
bunch of the
input.
other guys
I thought it
tried
was
to push
merely a
for
curious
colored
anomaly, but he
spacesuits
felt it was a warning.
as
Yes,
2001
now we know he was
references,
right.
but unfortunately we didn't get that far.
By the way, spacesuits show up later.
There are spacesuit. Yes, there's a spacesuit at some point in this game. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations.
Over here, you get
this.
to mess with. Yeah.
I love this little vignette. This is one of the greatest parts of the lab. This little vignette here. Could you,
Press
the
the button.
protagonist and push that button? Oh my God! What have you done?
Yeah, as you come back to the base throughout the game, there'll be different experiments you can fuck around with, and they're all pretty funny.
They're all pretty great. You can leave this dude here forever if you feel like it.
Well,
Or you can just, be an asshole and drop.
So agents are using this to immobilize targets in the field? Among other things.
and again, this is one of those things where, like, if you had seen this in base before you got the actual ability, it would have been kind of cool. Like, hey, they're developing it, and hey, and then you get it. But we've had it for a while already, so.
Yeah, the when research was cut, the compelling reasons to
Bye, guy.
the compelling reasons to have power development consistency versus power ramp disappeared completely. There was absolutely no compelling reason to do those.
Just
And
ask.
Now,
Well, we're supposed to go that way, so
no,
we're not gonna.
We're not gonna go
obviously.
look at him. Okay, we're gonna go to the creepatorium.
But he's got a different speech bubble over his
What did
head.
you want to talk about?
Yes, we've had a bit of a mishap, William.
And told
great.
you I'm meant
As
to
you know,
solve
our most
problems.
pressing goal is to develop a test to determine the humanity.
Here's one thing I
of
found
our
particularly
personnel, if you
annoying
will.
about the
We've had
game.
a breakthrough. Discovering
If I'm
a
going through the
signal
base
which
and I talk
causes
to this
the
guy and I
Xenocoids
get
to
the
become
quest
quite
and I complete the
agitated.
quest, but
But
then I
you can
quit the
see
game,
Your test subjects
when I
escaped.
start back at the base, it always sets me at
Perhaps
the
the
very
signal
beginning of the
agitated
base
them a bit
section.
too
So
much.
it'll be
Why
as though
haven't
I've
we been
never
put on
acquired or
alert?
completed
With
his
our
little
current
subplot.
tension, Can you imagine
It doesn't
how
save the
people
subquest.
panic?
Oh, yes,
Because of
yes.
this little incident
Okay,
between
yeah,
ourselves.
that is not a bug.
What exactly?
It's not a bug
The
because
Zilicoids
we
are
don't
likely to
save
be hiding in
progress
the
within
ventilation
the
or
X
other
space.
subsystems.
We only
Their
save
distinctive
progress
trails should
when
make it
you
easy for you to
end
track
a
them
map.
or destroy them.
Yeah.
Good hunting.
Or at checkpoints within
Or a
missions.
checkpoint, yes, or a checkpoint within the context of the mission. But in the X space, we do not save progress within an individual base visit. So if you play partially through a base visit, quit and reload your save,
It
you
won't remember
are
that.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a little
tracking
trail you
Blob
can
Spooge.
see up there. Anyway, so
Yep.
yeah, if you are playing the game, if you want to quit, start a mission first, and then start it, and then quit after. Otherwise, you're going to lose some progress.
Or just,
Officer,
quit
you're
when
new
you
here,
get
aren't
back
you?
to base.
Yes, sir.
Which is
You
usually
rescued
the
me up
intended
from outside
thing.
Louisville.
And this dude.
This dude's using an agent head.
brought him
Everyone
to
in the
speed.
base uses
Yes,
agent
sir.
heads, actually.
Prisoner is secure, mostly
Or
docile, and
minorly
all kinds of
modified
things in
heads of
hand.
main characters.
I'd say it's going
Which can
pretty
look
well.
a little creepy sometimes.
It's a little early to say it's going well.
Sir,
This guy's kind of funny. Also, he has a
we've gotten
magical
back on our
non-moving
feet
helmet
after the surprise attack.
that is not
I'd say that
parented to
counts
his
for
skull
something.
correctly.
You're not wrong.
Because the,
I got a feeling it'll
yeah.
get worse before it gets
I like
better.
this guy. He's
Then
an,
I'm glad
he's an
I'm here.
optimist.
Where I can
He's
make
the
a
only
difference.
optimist in the entire base, actually. He's in
How's
bad
the
company.
infiltrator?
The containment room was designed
He's,
to act
he's the
as both the brig
sole ray
and
of
the lab,
sunshine.
so he's well
And
contained.
as Carter,
Not
you
that he's
can
been trying to get
absolutely
out.
trash
You think
his
he's planning
worldview
something?
every single time
Can't
you
say for
interact
sure.
with him if you feel like
Any
it.
other prisoner, yeah, but
I always
is
play
appropriate.
nice,
that
Carter.
controller thing from his head.
Yep,
He's been a different man.
with very few
Or I guess I should
exceptions,
say, different creature.
with very few exceptions,
How
being
much do you
nice or
trust Falk?
mean
I trust him with my life,
is
sir.
not an
After all, if it
especially
weren't for him and his teams, I'd still
meaningful
be
choice,
out there.
with a few exceptions. There are
You said you were
certain
rescued
circumstances
from
in the game
outside
where being
Louisville?
nice
Yes,
versus
sir.
being mean, as
Fort
Carter,
Knox in particular.
has actual
Agent
effects.
DeSilva and his team were
Speaking
recovering
of
Mostly.
which,
from
in
high-value
the coming
storage,
conversation,
and I
you can
thought they were
choose the
looters.
Well, that
nice
could've
one
gone
or the
poorly.
extremely mean
I don't
one.
know about you, but
I go with the
ask
nice one,
questions
but I'll
before
make
I
a
start
separate
shooting.
video
Yeah.
Only
for
two
what
happened to
happens
bring me
if
back.
you go mean.
Once they were
This
certain
is
I
one
was
of the
human.
How
the
exactly
confrontation
did
with
they
the
prove
infiltrator
that?
is
Just
one of the
like
few
checking for
circumstances
Reds,
where
sing the Star
how you
Spangled
play
Banner,
Carter
ask
really
what
does
happened in the
matter.
most recent episode of Captain Thunderclap, and so on and so
Well,
on.
I don't know. I
Captain
found
Thunderclap,
That's all.
Budget Flash
Thank you,
Gordon.
sir. Good luck.
I love Captain Thunderclap.
yeah. I found the infiltrator a fairly sympathetic dude, so
I really like the Infiltrator as a character. I only wish we could have had more of them.
I see you gave up on the disguise. Done playing dress up?
Some of the
This
best
one
writing
can
in the
no
game are
longer
in
hide.
these conversations with the
Those systems were
Infiltrator. Also,
corrupted
check out
by
that
your
mouth of his.
scientists.
We put some
Oh, yeah.
serious time into the
Quote
tech
all you
to
want
get
about your
his
superior
mouth
technology.
and all the
Always got
outsider
you tied
mouths
to a chair with a
animated
rope.
correctly,
You want
and they look
revenge
pretty
for your
fucking
fellow
cool,
warrior.
honestly.
Go ahead and take
they
it.
do. I hope you won't be
Nothing
offended
you
if I
do will
refer to them
stop
as
the
vagina
Zutari.
mouths.
We're gonna pay
Don't
a
be.
visit to
Everyone
your
did.
home. And you're gonna
We
help
kind of
us
just
get
sidestepped
there.
that,
A
honestly.
counter invasion.
Oh, yeah. Here's
The more
one
you resist
small
Mosaic,
thing that I
the more you
noticed.
will bring death
When we
to your
first
world.
see the infiltrator in the
seen
first
our
little
strength.
mission thing in the
This is
base,
just an
he
expedition
does not have those
carrying
metal
away
nodes in
our
the back of his
armies.
neck,
We will
like the base of his
destroy
skull. But now,
We'll
when you
see
see
about
behind
that.
him, he
It's
does
simple.
have them.
You will join our empire.
Yeah,
or you will
he
die.
probably doesn't
For
have
us,
those
there are
because
no
the
other
model
choices.
used for the Infiltrator in the first mission is not at all this model. This model is a specific model for the Infiltrator that was only
Our
created for the
white coats say there's
conversation
been a
scenes.
change in your attitude ever
It had
since
more
they yanked this
articulation,
device
more
out of your
animation,
head.
and it was specifically
I wanna
created
know
as
what the
a
hell it is.
nude
It is many
slash
things.
very
The
scantily
shield,
scantily
beacon, our
clad,
focus.
excuse me, outsider
It's
model
Mosaic.
to
Yeah, I
emphasize
got
the
it.
We
vulnerability,
are-
etc.
Yeah, I got you.
Alone. Unsure. Impure of thought.
What exactly is Mosaic?
I
You would think of it as a
cannot
broadcast.
exactly
a
remember
network. Each of us
who
are
is
connected to
doing
it.
his
It
voice
unites
here.
us.
It's how you receive
But-
your orders.
Our orders. Our faith.
I don't want to
Mosaic
say
delivers
who I think the
truth.
voice actor is because I might be
Perhaps
wrong, and if I am
what
wrong, it's going to be
Origin
really silly.
decides is the truth.
But this dude's dialogue was not cut or altered in production.
Why don't
What
you
he
just
says
do
is the
yourself a
original
favor?
intended
Just
dialogue
talk straight to
and
me
is,
tell me about this
well,
origin.
as correct
Maybe
as it
we
can
can
get
help you.
for this game.
You are more civilized than would be expected.
If you want to
for
know
such
anything about
divided
this game and the Outsiders and
creatures.
stuff, the
It is
Infiltrator
not
is your
a
best source of
weakness.
knowledge. Everything he says
Nothing is as I
true.
thought.
To a certain
Nothing
Alright.
is as Origin
The
told
voice of
us.
canon.
Listen, I'm fighting for the survival of my
Yeah,
entire race here.
he is.
Give me something to work with, or you'll find out what I'm willing to do for my world.
You have already seen what we are willing to do for our own dying world. What Origin has forced us to do for our world. Forced me to do to other worlds.
I like that
Don't
line.
have to let Origin control you.
This is the first
Tell us how to stop
this is
them,
the
and you can
first
be free. We can destroy
mention we
Mosaic.
get that the Outsiders
all
have been
be
to other
free.
places before
Yes,
they've
but
been here. This is not the
Mosaic
first
cannot be
time
destroyed.
that they have,
Mosaic
you
is
know,
not a single place,
destroyed
not a
an
solid
entire
thing.
planet, basically.
And soon it will consume your people as it has so many. As it did mine.
Also, another interesting thing. That line implies that the Outsiders are not the first people / aliens
Tell
to
them
be
where we
controlled
are.
by Mosaic.
This is a foolish decision. Mosaic will know our location immediately. Origin will see that you all die.
It's also funny in this
They'll come finish
conversation
off
if you
XCOM,
pretend when he
you'll
says
return a
Origin,
hero.
he's talking about the,
Go on.
you know,
Join
the
the
EA
inevitable.
program that they use
No.
to manage all of their
I
downloadable
cannot
titles.
go back. Not anymore.
Oh my
Then
gosh.
It is dangerous.
We win,
It
we
is
can find a
dangerous.
way to help
Electronic
the rest
Arts
of
is
you
going to
people.
find out where we
Very
are.
well, William Carter. You win. To survive the crossing, you will need an instrument that can recalibrate
This
quantum
is
structures.
a great one.
Dr. Weir should be able to make sense of that.
I was just like,
I
whatever
hope
you
for
said,
your sake he
I don't know what that means, but someone
Device
smart
can
can
be
deal with
acquired
it.
only for one of our
Talk to
ships,
someone who
which can
knows
be found
something,
at one of our
buddy.
docking stations near Vengate. It would not be
Oh,
possible to
okay, that's the
replicate
one error in this
human
conversation.
technology.
you.
He should not be calling it
We
a
won't
Vengate.
forget your help.
They
That
use
is what
Vengeance.
Weir calls it. That's what Dr. Weir calls it. That is, he should not be calling it that. Hey, and we get one of the better music stings in the game.
I
I'm
tried
not
to
a
get a
huge
look
fan
at the
of
back
most
of him
this
here, but I
music.
can't move there.
Nice work in there,
I'm not a
Carter.
fan of most of the
I bet
music
the
in this
director
game,
won't tell
sadly,
you that
but there are
himself.
some
Was he
pieces
watching?
that I really,
You even have
really
to
like.
ask that question?
And the like
waiting for
ambient
you,
like
Knobs.
investigation style and themes, where the creepy themes and things like that are the ones that I am the biggest fan of. Okay, so that switchboard to the right there, is where the research console used to be.
Ah, okay.
And I actually, God, I think it's still in the base. I think we just moved it outside the base geometry, and it's still there.
Wait. There's something in there.
Oh no! Containment has been breached! By the way, this is a
It-
pretty
it-
piss-poor airlock if it's that easy.
Yeah. If you didn't talk to Dr. Werner, I don't think that would have happened.
No, that does not happen unless you talk to
Looks
Dr.
like I
Dresser.
found the first of Heinrich's blobs.
I look, he calls them Heinrich's globs. They're Heinrich's problem, not mine. So the base underwent a lot of evolutions in the course of the game,
I'm afraid to ask.
and the original, yeah, the map still says XCOM on it.
Yeah,
the
and I'm
original-
heading over to the other side for some places we haven't seen yet. Anyway,
Yeah, the original iteration of the base was underground in a hangar on an old missile base, and it was hidden. It was literally a secret supervillain base. You would drive into the hangar, and a wall would slide back, and you'd get into an elevator and go down into the base, and it was really cool, except if the elevator ever malfunctioned, you'd get stuck in there forever, or you'd fall for the world. We dropped the elevator. The elevator was more trouble than it was worth. But it was really cool to like come into a secret supervillain base and have that be yours. With super.
well, I like the secret underground helipad type deal.
Yeah, the secret underground
Well, it's not really
Thunderbird style
secret, but-
helipad was pretty cool. It's kind of secret, you know.
It's right there on the surface, surrounded by a fence and guards.
It could be just an above ground helipad with no buildings around, you know. For a while on this map, we didn't actually have toy soldiers. We just had random props that we grabbed from elsewhere in the game.
Oh, hold
and
up,
for a
hold
long
up, hold
time,
up.
There was a teddy bear on it.
What? You mean he's friends with a Martian?
Yeah, but that's not what I meant. I mean, it sounds like the guy was, you know, one of them.
I'm not following.
I'm saying it sounds like they were, you know, a couple.
A couple of what? You're not making any sense.
Yeah, no, I like that conversation. Before anybody gets any weird ideas, yes, it is true. Lawrence
Carter,
and Weir.
What's this I hear about people
That's what I
sleepwalking
figured.
through cities?
There was
This dude has had no introduction,
Your guess
but
is as
apparently
this guy
He's
never
a-
gets an introduction.
Whatever the outsiders
apparently
did to
he's
them,
an
we
old
don't know
buddy
how
of
to fix
Falk's,
it.
like an
Sounds
old
like a friend
old
I knew
brother
back
in
in
our
the
comrade
States.
in arms, I guess.
Mine
Quartermaster
just
Webb
snapped.
is an unsung hero of this game. He is a pretty cool dude. You should
As
talk
long
to him
as
every
we still
chance
got
you get.
people working on a cure,
He has
there's
little,
still a
you know,
chance for them.
He's got little
you
things.
are. Although if they can't remember it after they
Although later
recover,
on in the game, he just
that'd
up and
probably be a
disappears.
mercy.
He does. It's because he's a Time Lord. No, he's not.
Tell me
But,
more about that friend in the service.
He's got the accent.
Anything like the sleepwalkers?
Yeah.
Well, I can't say it
Well,
was too
he's-
similar. I mean,
he's,
poor
I
old
believe
Kent
he's supposed to
didn't
be
have
Australian.
black
Anyone
gum
who's
all
not
over his
American
eyes
in
to
this game is
start.
Australian.
But the
Because
things
we
they
originally
saw when
received
we
the
won
project
Great War.
Terrible things
from
happened
2K
during
Australia.
the war.
Anyway,
He was working on it before
He
we
never got over the
we worked
shock.
on it in
And
tandem
Myron
with
and
them
I
for
never
quite a
got
while,
over what
and
happened
then they moved on
just
to
hope
other
we do all
projects,
those
the most
sleepwalkers.
recent of which you probably are eagerly
Food
awaiting.
and water
Borderlands
supplies.
2, the
We should be able to hold
pre-sequel.
off for another
Pre-order now.
month, maybe more, with tighter rationing.
There's my shameless plug. I know some people who,
You've known the old
after
man
2K
for a while.
Dissolution,
Has
migrated
he
back
always been
to
this paranoid?
2K
No,
Australia.
not at all. In fact, I remember when he used to be a naive new recruit.
What happened
So,
to him?
Quartermaster
Well,
Webb, if he's
I think
telling
one
the
place to
truth,
tell his life
he's
story.
really, really
But let's
old.
just say that sort of attitude doesn't last
because
after
Falk
the third
is
time a
in his
refugee
50s
pulls a
at
gun on you.
least. I don't know
50s is
how-
a conservative estimate, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
enough
actually, he's
crying
probably
for
much
now.
older than that.
Any
Yeah, he's
time,
probably
Carter.
60-something.
So this dude must be pushing 70 at least.
Yeah, it's kind of a miracle that he's still
Which for the
alive.
50s
is impressive.
No, and neither have you.
Huh? But one of the maintenance techs
One of the shared qualities amongst people at the X-Base is at least half of the people here are completely fucking oblivious and don't understand obvious conversational gambits.
Well, the left hand doesn't know what the right is doing. Anyway, this is the firing range. This is where you can test out.
Range.
Yeah, I like this.
Oh, you monster!
You press the button and they toss in a sectoid for you.
You are a true monster if you do this, by the way.
It's mine! Eat that!
I feel kind of bad for them, but this is a good place to test out like powers if your agents level up when you're not on a mission. You want to know what they do.
This is why, by the way, the sectoids come back in enemy unknown and try to kill everyone on the entire planet. It's because you did this.
Yeah,
this is the
say
reason.
that it wasn't earned.
Yeah. So that there leads to the infirmary and the helipad and all that crap that you've already seen in the first mission.
Can't go that way now.
Where poor
this
Nils
is
got his
new.
jaw hinged. Like the floors. This must be important.
And if it was you in charge, I'd take my chances.
Oh, wait, I know what we're about to see. This is the break room, by the way. Hey, look, bathrooms. We have bathrooms in our base.
How could somebody
That's
leave
right.
a mess like that?
I specifically oh my god.
Have a little decency, would you? What the hell's happening in there? Hope you washed your hands at least.
I love this side quest for that one reason.
I love bathroom humor. Yeah, I am a child. I don't care.
I had a long-standing bug about the bathrooms being removed from X-Base when we moved to this new layout right here. And I harassed the base architecture team about it every week for months.
Where are they supposed to piss?
No, every week I would literally go, hey, so we get bathrooms back in the base? Eventually, I guess someone got really, really tired of hearing about it and put the bathrooms back in.
Carter! Get it!
I love that this guy just more sounds irritated than anything else.
Yeah, that's Lawrence's voice actor also.
Yeah.
I thought you were dead.
And waving your guns to the floor there.
Yeah, this is the one time we get to walk back through this area.
Yes. Those blobs were originally created by some guys in...
quiet desk job.
He says, holding a gun. Those blobs were originally created by 2K Australia, and they have one of the most fantastically complicated material schemes for their creation I've ever seen on anything in a game in my life. We finally managed to simplify it a little bit.
Good work in there.
For the,
I'm honestly surprised you
we
got
had
that
to.
cool.
They were unbelievable in terms of how many draw calls they cost us. But
that wasn't my first
they still are
It shows.
incredibly
Having a
very,
defector on our
very
side could make a big
good-looking
difference.
enemies.
Who knows?
They are. I like them a lot. I wish there was
they
like a
might be great
giant
allies.
one,
Let's
or
just
if they could
focus
like
on
combine
making it
into
through
a
this
big
war.
one. That'd be kind of cool.
Now, I've been discussing
In
the
the
information you
2010
extracted
version of the
with
game,
Dr. Weir.
Any
blobs
clue where
were
we
a
can
much
find
more
one of those
sinister and nasty
interdimensional
enemy.
things?
They
The doctor
could
calls it a
actually
phase
grapple your agents
And we know there's an outsider docking
and
tower
force
near a town
themselves
called Vita
into your
Buena in New
agents'
Mexico.
bowels,
The Silva's team
and they
reported
would
it when they were
core out your
investigating
agents'
sleepwalkers in
innards
the
and
area.
possess them.
Well, we see something like that
Sounds like I
later.
should
We
talk to De Silva.
much later in the
Could be
game, you see
difficult.
some people puking up
Silva's
blobs.
team
That
attempted
is
to
the
infiltrate the
last
structure.
remnant of
The
that.
last
There
report
was
from them
also
was
a
2 days
side
ago.
What
plot
the hell,
that I
Falk?
think we dropped,
De Silva goes
which was
missing, and
that
you're just telling me
the
now.
blobs were,
Calm down,
were the
Carter.
carriers of
We
some
have
kind
reason
of
to believe that he's
nanoplague
still
that
alive,
created
but he's
sleepwalkers
deep
and
in
eventually
enemy
turned them
territory and
into
unable to
outsiders. But I believe we
Link up with
dropped
him and his
that
team.
because
Then you will all escort
it,
Dr. Weir through the command tower and secure the
it
phase
doesn't
block.
really make that much sense.
Right.
Because the outsiders
Why are we putting the doctor
aren't
back in danger?
humans.
Weir is the
They're
only one
an
who
alien.
understands how the
They're
enemy
very
gates
different.
work. He's the only one with any insight into how their systems might operate.
So,
No
but
time to
originally,
train a
yeah,
field
at
specialist,
one point the
right?
outsiders
Precisely.
were just
Keep Dr.
severely
Weir safe.
genetically modified and
He's far too
cybernetically
valuable
modified
to lose.
humans that were then converted
What was De Silva doing up there anyway?
He was assigned to
using
gather intel on the
a
outsiders'
nanovirus or a
gates for
nanoplague.
Dr. Weir's
And that is what
benefit.
blobs are.
Now
They're
we're going
nanotech.
there to get
They're
one of these
basically giant,
gadgets. What aren't you telling
cohesive
me about this place?
Vita Buena is an outsider
ferrofluid,
transport
actually.
hub. Ships
that's
coming
cool.
and going from one of those gates.
If you guys want a
24
fun
hours
time,
day.
just look up some videos of like magnetic ferrofluid.
Yes, that is actually those videos were we showed those to the
You think we can trust
concept
the
artists
outsider?
when we were like, okay, so we need to integrate blobs into the outsider architecture and stuff like that.
Make them look like this.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, so this is what blobs are a lot like in movement, because we couldn't really show them very good examples of the blobs interacting with objects. We didn't have any. So you're like, this is what they look like, so how would these interact with the architecture? And then we got that, which is why you see all that black-blue crap splattered all over the outsider architecture and the edges of it. Because the blobs are sort of the white blood cells of outsider architecture. They're like the immune system. They maintenance the outsider architecture. The seeds release nanites and stuff that convert the ground and everything like that into outsider architecture. And then the blobs are sort of spawned from within the architecture to do maintenance on it and attack stuff that tries to root out the outsider architecture and things like that, or to attack very, very stubborn things that are in the way
The
of it.
bastard killed Nils. You were too soft on him.
That's why they didn't let you interrogate him. He can't tell us much if he's dead.
He didn't tell us much as it is.
He told us
And this
enough
is your
to figure
cue,
out the
everyone,
next
to
step.
imagine
That's
Angela
all we
with
need
the claw
for
hammer
now.
going
With
after
any
the
luck, the old man will
infiltrators
let
all
me
over the
have the
head
next
crest.
shot at him.
Yeah, Angela's pretty hardcore.
She's really hardcore. We'll see later why she's so hardcore, actually. She's got a good reason for it.
She does. Like I said, she's a cool character.
She is.
Can't go there anymore.
Can't go back. Who's going to clean that up, you know?
That guard.
Man, I really hope he doesn't have to. He doesn't even have a push broom or anything. We should have given him a push broom.
We could just go do missions, but we have to turn in that subquest to Heinrich, so... I was going to edit this out, but there was a couple ambient conversations.
You ever think of just installing a turnstile? Maybe charging a toll?
Technician O'Brennan's a funny guy.
What would I do with the money?
Yeah, these ambient conversations were the writer's chances to go, so, given what's going on outside the base...
hang on, I like this one, too.
Oh, yeah.
We demand to have access to the outsider. We have vital questions that demand answers.
Yes, what's with all this archaic interrogation? Why isn't that thing under a microscope all day, every day?
Gentlemen, please. We're still questioning him. I'm sure he'll be handed over to you when we've learned all we can.
Well, try not to be too rough on him.
Yes, we don't want him injured before the vivisection.
Jesus, fucking vivisection.
Yeah, we got a bunch of creepy dudes here as scientists. But what do you expect from dudes
That's
looking
all three of
in
them,
a secret U.S. government UFO base? You know,
to uncover any remaining infiltrators.
I hope you're more careful in the future, Doctor.
Yes, of course. And for your discretion, perhaps this will be of use to you.
So, for talking to him, he unlocks a dispatch mission, which the first time through the game, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Give me a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Dispatch missions, though, are actually an incredibly important part of this. When we removed the procedurally generated missions,
you can't attend every threat yourself.
Speaking
but in
of
some
which,
cases,
this
you
is
can
them.
dispatch agents to assist. On these dispatch missions, they will earn valuable experience and may find new equipment or even other experienced agents. However, they won't be available in the field while dispatched, so select your squads wisely.
We'll talk more about dispatch missions in the next video.
Yeah.
But we're not going to access them just yet.
Yes, dispatch missions are not... it's not wise to engage in them too much until you have a fairly large stable
roster,
of agents to use. Right.
So that's complexity 5, which I'll explain later.
That's 7.
And the one that I'll show you next, up in the corner, this is the one that we unlocked by talking to Heinrich.
This pack that pack that it gives you is a super, super good pack, and should be gotten at the earliest possible opportunity. It is really a pack that only affects the player, but it is extremely useful.
Anyway, yeah, so we're going to fill out the roster in the next video. I've already asked for suggestions from the thread for all the stuff. So yeah, just going over the agent creation thing. I've already pre-selected and made everyone, so we'll see those guys in the next video.
We will. We will see them in all of their colored glory as well, because there are so many different selections of colors to choose from. I myself am partial to Pink Squad, which will
Pink Squad's pretty cool.
Pink Squad hopefully will cause the surviving sectoids or outsiders to tell their children tales of the Pink Menace, which is just a hilarious name for an enemy force.
Anyway, so I'll see you guys next time when we get back into it.